Well, howdy ho there. How you doing today? Hopefully you're doing absolutely peachy keen fantastic. Here I am just admiring a fire because I think it's really pretty. Fire's great. Fire burns real good. You know, I think that sometimes we forget that we should be alight with the fire of faith and the fire of the Lord within our hearts. Sometimes people get into this like really kind of drab, just doing every day as it comes kind of thing, and I understand that, but I have found that by really trying to set my heart ablaze with the fire of bhakti, with the fire of faith, with the fire of devotion, which has really enlivened my life and has really made things really, really nice and good. And it makes it so I always want to come back. I absolutely love, learning more about the Lord and learning more about the way people come to the Lord and learning more and more about the mystical traditions that surround us and learning about how like there's this almost like somewhat secret history of the mystics that goes alongside the main history that we learn about, especially for like religious history. And seeing that through line and seeing that God is ever willing to give us more and more is really, really nice. And, I think that sometimes we need to do things to stoke that fire of faith within us. That can be a lot of different things. It kind of depends on your nature. For me, when I personally came to this path, a long time ago, I was a Muslim, and then I, stopped being a Muslim for a little while, and then I came to Buddhism, and I learned a lot about Buddhism. I learned a lot about devotion, how devotion was very helpful, and then now I'm where I'm at now with, Advaita Vedanta, non-dual Tantra, worshiping Ma Kali every day, really enjoying the boons that she's given me, and really enjoying the faith that I feel like she's stoked within me. And I really, really enjoy, seeing the fire and thinking about how we can all be, alive with that passion for the Lord, and that we can all grow close to the Lord. And there's a lot of ways to do that. One way is that you can do mantras every day. I do 2,000 mantras or 2,000 repetitions every day. It's actually 2,080. Yeah, 2,080. No, 2,160. I'm sorry, because it's 108 beats per go around. But you can really get close to her by doing mantra repetition every day, and I found that that's really been very helpful. Oops. A little bit of meditation every day is also a really, really good way to do it. Just focusing on the Lord and, inviting her into your heart, inviting her love into your heart. And, those are really effective, and those are practices. Another really good practice is to, no matter what's going on in your life, anytime you feel any sort of great pleasure or even sometimes even great pain, you should reflect on the Lord and give that moment back to the Lord. You should always run to her no matter what's going on, and run to her no matter what kind of events are happening in your life right then and there. You want to stoke that fire, throw fuel into that fire, in the sense that you should wake up and remember that everything you're doing to get closer to God, to get closer to that ultimate source of love, that ultimate source of sweetness, that ocean of bliss. That ocean of bliss, which is, that cooling sensation once we tame the fire of worldly lust, and we tame that fire, and we bring into a new fire of love for the Lord. That's when we really grow and develop as, peoples and as kitty cats and all that good stuff. And that's when we really develop a greater understanding of the Lord in our own life. It's that desire to always come back to the Lord no matter what's going on, and to stoke that fire with the love that is within your heart. That love that you experience for the world, turn it into love for God. Turn it so that every pleasure always comes back to the Lord. Make it so that every sip of water, every sip of any drink is, you're giving it to the Lord as, an offering. That you're offering everything to the Krishna inside, the Christ inside, the Catte inside, whatever your chosen form of God is. Or even if you think that, you prefer God as the formless, remember that still within you is that formless Atman, that formless connection to God that is always there. So when you ingest, even then, you don't have to imagine a specific form, but remember that you're doing it for God. You're taking in these things for God. You're sharing these things for God. You're giving up these sense pleasures for God. You're giving up. You're enjoying these things that you enjoy throughout the day, and you're doing it for God. You're doing it to be closer to God. I think you can kind of do this with everything, but really, you should start with more simple practices at first. You should start with things that are easy, like, just drinking some cool, refreshing water and just, thanking the Lord for that cool, refreshing water. Or, if you have like a cookie, remember to thank the Lord for the cookie. Or if you're eating something that you like, thank the Lord that you're eating something you like. And if you're eating something you don't really like, thank the Lord that you still have food on your plate, that you can still serve the Lord because of the energy that food on that plate will give you. Even when things go bad, remember that it's an experience that you can use to learn and grow at any time, no matter where you are. Remember that these things can bring you closer to the Lord, even if they're things that you don't really understand. And that sometimes even just doing practices, religious practices, even if you don't 100% fully understand them, that can bring you close to the Lord. But we're always trying to stoke that fire. We're always trying to keep things up and going, and trying to remember that, the Lord is the ultimate passion. The Lord is there, and she will always come to you. She will always respond when you call. And, when we as children put down our toys and we cry for mother to pull us up on our lap, she puts us up on our lap. That's what we need to do. We need to put down the toys of the material world and embrace the love of Ma and everything. Just remember that, and always keep that fire going. Always keep that love of the Lord going. Always return to this, and remember that there is a great deal of peace and love here, but there's also a great deal of fire and fury, passion that can be ignited by Ma, and that she can always come into your heart no matter what's going on. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. That's just what I wanted to share today. I really hope you all are having an absolutely wonderful day. And I hope that you remember that God loves you, and I love you, and bye-bye, love you, bye. Wave my little hands. Also positive mood and hugs. Okay, bye. God loves you, I love you, bye.